Major funding for these broadcasts has been provided by grants from New York Community Bank, AmTrust Title Insurance Company, Perfect Building Maintenance, M&T Bank, Customers Bank, Marks Paneth LLP, Capital One Bank, Collins Building Services, Meridian Capital Group, Sterling National Bank. Additional support has been provided by grants from AKA Hotel Residences, Corman Communities, Ariel Property Advisors, Amarant Bank, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Briarwood Organization, Chase Commercial Mortgage, Chase Commercial Term Lending, Citizens Bank, Dime Community Bank, Douglaston Development Levine Builders, Flushing Bank, Friedman LLP, Handler Properties LLC, Handler Real Estate, Hodges Ward Elliott Inc., Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Institute at Syracuse University, Keysight Capital Partners, Matone Group LLC, New Banks, Newmark Knight Frank, Ocean First Bank, Optimum Window Manufacturing Corp., People's United Bank, Rockefeller Group, Rosewood Realty Services, Stonehenge NYC, SVN CPEX Real Estate Services, Terra CRG, the Marengo Family Foundation, and these friends. How do you become an executive chef and restaurant owner when you started as a handyman? You lived in 6 European cities, you lived in a couple of other places, you get expelled from high school. But I have the executive chef, Marc Murphy. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, since I started a little bit about your life, why don't you tell me about your life, because your father was a career diplomat.
Right. Well, to give you the brief story, I guess, is my father, well, yes, he was an American diplomat. My mother's French, father's American. I was born in Milan. My brother's a little older than I am. He came out before me, and that's when my father was stationed in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So after Milan, we lived there for a little while. I was very young. We moved to Paris. My father was stationed in Paris. And after Paris, we moved from there to Villefranche in the south of France. My father was the consul general in Nice. And that was about 3 years there. Was it 3 years? Yeah. Then we moved to Virginia. My father had to go work at the State Department in Washington, D.C., so we lived on the outskirts, because back then nobody actually lived in Washington, D.C. Everybody lived on the outside of Washington, D.C., so we were there for 3 years. Then my father was transferred again, but he was actually, through the State Department, he was part of the NATO Defense College in Rome, outside of Rome in Aor. So we moved there for 6 months, and then my father was then stationed in Genoa, which is in the northern part of Italy, where I went to school for a little while, but then was shipped off to boarding school back to Rome. And then my father was then stationed in Rome, but it was a good idea to ship me now to New Hampshire to go to school until they didn't want me there anymore. When I was young and we were living in France, I was going to French schools. Everything was in French. I grew up speaking French and English. And obviously being in Italy, I ended up learning how to speak Italian as well, because you had to talk to the kids on the playground. But in France, I used to go to these schools run by these nuns, and they would force me to write with my right hand, because writing with your left hand was, wrong in their eyes. And then when we moved to Virginia, I went to a school. I went to one school, which was a public school. I got in trouble all the time. So then my parents moved me to a Catholic school, where I was still getting in trouble. But one of the nuns sort of realized there was something different about me, and they weren't quite sure, so they had me tested. And the first time they had me tested, I think my brother tells the story of my mother crying because I came back and they told me I was retarded or something like that.
It was really dyslexic.
And then they had me tested again. They realized I was dyslexic, and I was writing with my right hand, And they said, wait, he's dyslexic, he's left-handed, why is he writing with his right hand? And I guess I don't really know enough about it, but the right part of your brain controls the left part of your body and so on and so forth. So it was all messed up for me.
Let's talk about the expulsions from school.
Well,
I mean, there were a couple.
It started with all this dyslexia and not really being good at school, because when you're a little kid and you're just told you're dumb and you do everything wrong all the time.
You were people we'd call army brats. You were a diplomatic brat.
A diplomatic brat that moved around a lot. And so I was always, I wasn't very good at school, and they didn't really know how to deal with dyslexia back then. But what I did do when I was in school in Rome at a boarding school there, I went to the Notre Dame International School. And I can remember the principal handing me my diploma and saying that it was a gift. The only reason he was giving it to me because he never wanted to see me again. So I guess I was sort of kicked out of 8th grade.
Right, but then you came back to America in the Freeburg.
Well, the reason I came back to America is because my father knew somebody. Actually, the first school I went to was called Proctor Academy in Andover, New Hampshire. And they sent me there because they said that they had a good program for kids with learning disabilities. So they shipped me off to New Hampshire, Andover, New Hampshire. And that lasted about 2.5 years until one day for Christmas vacation, my parents were still living in Rome. They put me on a plane to go back to Rome for Christmas holidays. And while I was on the plane, the headmaster of the school called my father and said, don't bother sending him back. We're going to mail all his stuff back. He's been kicked out. So I get off the plane in Rome, and my father was very upset with me, and he told me that the school had called in the middle of the night because they didn't know there was a time difference, I guess, and woke him up and told him that there was no reason to send me back because I was kicked out.
So let's talk about when you finished high school. Where do you end up?
Well, I ended up then, because I was kicked out at Christmas, I ended up working in the embassy for about a year, a little under a year at the American Embassy in Rome. And then I finally got into a school in Maine, in Freiburg Academy, and that's when I finally graduated high school. Okay. And after high school, I think I took a bus and I came down to New York City.
Now, your brother was older, a computer nerd, as you said.
Exactly. My brother's older. He works in the computer business. But at the time, I think he was going to Columbia University, and he was working as a waiter and living with his girlfriend at the Schwab House. So I show up in New York with my suitcase, and I find him, and I find a couch that he had, and I crashed on the couch. And I ended up hanging out with him and his girlfriend at the time. And his girlfriend, who he ended up marrying and having 3 kids with, is now his ex-wife, but she knew everybody in New York. And so she kept hooking me up with like little odd jobs as a handyman for fixing up her friends. Her friends were having babies, or they needed a closet fixed, or they wanted the baby's room painted or something. So I was doing all these odd jobs, and finally I got sick of it. And I said to my brother, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is really boring. I really don't like it. And he knew I always liked to eat, but he knew I liked to cook as well, because since I wasn't paying rent, I felt guilty. So I would cook dinner every night for my brother and his girlfriend.
You had no formal training at this time.
No, I had really good formal training in eating. That I was professional at. I mean, growing up in all those wonderful European countries, my palate had been quite well developed, and I knew what I liked. Right. I knew how things were done right. That's what I can tell you. But I do. So my ex-sister-in-law, she still tells the stories about me when I would be on like a kick of making soufflés. For a week I was making soufflés every night for dinner, sweet and savory. I was just experimenting and playing around with food. So my brother had gone to this school called Peter Kump's New York Cooking School. It was on 91st in York. And he had done the work-study program where he worked a little bit and he got to take free classes because he was interested in cooking and wanted to just, so he decided to tell me about it, and I went to look at it, and I said, yeah, maybe I should take cooking classes. I could cook. If I can cook, I really honestly thought if I can cook, I'll be able to eat. I didn't want to be hungry. I didn't mind if I was going to be homeless, it would have been okay, but hungry I was not good with. Well, what happened was, first of all, the school was, I think, $5,000 at the time, and I got something in the mail that I had to pay taxes on $6,500 in a bank in Boston. And I was like, well, where's this money come from? So I called my parents, and they told me that that was money that my grandmother on my father's side, when she died, had left me for my education. So I hung up the phone and I said, my education. I need $5,000 for this cooking school, and then I'll have $1,500 left to live off of. So I closed the bank account and I had him send me the check, and I went to cooking school. And I think I got a call from my father saying, what'd you do with the money?
But there's something related later on, we'll talk about the $500. Now that you've taken this 3-month course, as a chef, as a cook, or whatever you want to call it.
As a cook.
What can you do now?
Well, then I had decided that I was going to do an apprenticeship because the school helped set you up with an apprenticeship. So they set me up with an apprenticeship in Paris. I still had relatives there and I knew people in Paris. So I went over there and I got an apprenticeship unpaid. And I got there and it was the junkiest restaurant. I knew from the get-go, I said, there's nothing for me to learn here. I'm not staying here. And my brother and some friends had bought a house in Italy, right outside of Spoleto, in a little town called Roselli. So I thought, forget this apprenticeship. I'm going to go to Italy and hang out for the summer. So I took a train and I went down to Italy and I ended up staying down there all summer. And I think I redid the floors and I redid the electrical in the house.
Handyman again.
Okay. Back to handymanning around. And of course, cooking and hanging out. It's a town with about 50 people in it. So I got to know all the neighbors. I would help them. I learned how to drive the tractor and pick the grapes. And I was there for a while. But I did meet a woman at the time. And she lived in London, and she also had a house in that area of the world. And after the summer, I ended up going to London and living with her for quite a few months. I thought that was a good idea. She was a barrister in the English courts, and I was.
And then it was time to return to New York.
Then I thought, you know what? I can't just live in London with this woman the rest of my life. So I should go back and start cooking. I'm going to go back to New York. So I remember calling my brother and asking him for some money because I didn't have any. And he bought me a ticket to come back to New York, a one-way ticket, which, you know, and I went back to the apartment where, in the meantime, during cooking school and living in New York and so on and so forth, I lived with some friends down on St. Mark's Place with my friends Aiden and Bill, and I crashed on their couch off and on for about 7 years. I came back to New York, I went back to the cooking school, and Catherine Alpert, who was my teacher at the time, I went back to the school and I looked at her and I said, I need a job. She goes, where the heck have you been? I said, well, I was in London. She goes, are you really serious? You want to work now? I was like, yeah, I need to work. I have like $11 left.
You could have made more money as a handyman, but it was time to.
It's time to do a career of some sort. And she introduced me to a guy named Ed Farron, who was he was a line cook, and he was also taking classes at Peter Kump's. So he brought me down to meet Terrence Brennan at Prefix on 18th Street, and I was pretty persistent, and I got myself a job there. And my sous chefs were, at the time, Joey Fortunato, who now has Extra Virgin, and David Pasternak, who obviously owns Esca. So they were my sous chefs. Terrence Brennan was the chef. And I got my first real cooking job in Manhattan in New York City. And boy, did I have a good time.
Yeah, that was about a year, right? And then,
I was there a little over a year and a half.
And then what's next?
Well, first of all, that's where I learned a lot. I mean, David and Joey really, like, as we say back in the old days, they really kicked my butt and taught me the discipline of working hard and playing hard as well in the industry. And then in my apartment where I was living at my friend's couch, on their couch, I had taken a book. My old roommate was a philosophy professor, so we had a lot of books in the house.
Right.
So I took a book and I cut out the middle, and every time I'd have a $50 bill, I would stick it in there, and I was saving up for something. I didn't know what at the time. So after about a year and a half, David Pasternak comes to me and he goes, you know, you're done here. It's time for you to leave. I was like, well, what did I do wrong? He goes, you've learned everything you need to learn. You need to go off and learn from somebody else. You're good at you seem to be good at this and you like it. So I went home, I opened up the book. I had enough money to get a plane ticket to go to Paris, called up an old friend, asked him if his couch was free. I was really good at sleeping on couches. And I moved to Paris and I went and bought the Michelin Guide, landed in Paris, headed out onto the streets of Paris looking for a job in a 3-star Michelin restaurant. I went to all the 3-star Michelin restaurants and knocked on the door. They looked at me like I was crazy.
Now, somebody made a decision that you were right for something.
Well, what happened was one of the chefs, his name is Chef Paco at the Place des Vosges at l'Amboiserie, which is an absolutely amazing restaurant where, full circle, my wife just took me there for my 50th birthday. And he's still there. It was really, and he came out to the dining room and I said hi to him and I told him this story. But he actually got me or helped me get a job at a 1-star Michelin restaurant with a chef by the name of Gilles Lepied. And I stayed there probably almost 2 years as well, cooking. And I was...
You made Alain Ducasse, right?
I did stay there longer than I was supposed to, because I was going to leave, I think, after about a year and a couple months. And summertime was coming. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to that house in Italy and hang out and, you know, take some time off. I've been working my butt off. And the chef said to me, no, you can't quit. I go, well, no, but I want to quit. I'm giving you a month's notice. He says, but I'm going on vacation, and then the sous chef needs to go on vacation, and you're the only one who knows this kitchen inside out. And that's when I realized, oh, I guess I'm okay at this stuff. And they seem to be, I mean, literally, I think that this guy had probably fired like 50 French cooks, and I was still there doing this. And he said, you can't leave because I have to go on vacation. I was like, well, I want to leave. He says, listen, the chef, Gilles Lepierre, is good friends with Alain Ducasse. If you stay through the summer, work another couple months, help us control the kitchen for that time, we'll get you an apprenticeship at Alain Ducasse at the Louis XV in Monte Carlo. So I ended up taking up the opportunity, and I moved down to Monte Carlo for 3 months after my time at this restaurant, Le Miraville in Paris. And I worked down there for 3 months, and I got to see some interesting things.
Then you came back to America. There was an opportunity at Le Cirque.
Well, the most interesting thing about doing the 3 months there, then Ducasse said to me, my chef de cuisine just left to be the chef at Le Cirque in New York City. So when you're done here, you're going to go to work at Le Cirque in New York. You're going to call Sylvain Portet. And I
went back to the same couch again?
I went back to the same couch. And this was funny because I get off the plane, I go to my same couch, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm in New York. I'm going to take a week off before I call this guy at Le Cirque. I think I wasn't home for 12 hours in this apartment. And somehow he must have had some type of, I must have had my phone number in New York as this apartment down on St. Mark's. And the phone rings, and there's this French guy on the phone who sounds irate. And I said, hello? And he starts saying, whoa, he starts telling me in French, where are you? You're supposed to be at work. And I'm like, who is this? It's like, this is Sylvain Portet from Le Cirque. You're supposed to be at work. So I had to rush to Le Cirque, and he's like, all right, well, why didn't you call? You got here, and you're supposed to come to work. Ducasse sent you to work here. And so that's how I got that job. I guess I was sort of thrown into it.
What happens after Le Cirque?
Oh, Le Cirque, I was there for quite a while. I worked my way through entremetier, poissonnier, saucier. I worked my way up, and I think Joey Fortunato called me again, and he says, I'm opening a restaurant for Drew in Tribeca, and it's called Layla. It's a Middle Eastern Mediterranean restaurant in Tribeca. And I want you to be my sous chef. And I said, I can't be a sous chef, I'm just a line cook. And he goes, I think you've worked, you know your way around the kitchen, you can be my sous chef. So I ended up leaving Le Cirque and becoming a sous chef at Layla. That's where I met another gentleman by the name of George Mazeroff. George Mazeroff was the consulting chef for Drew. Well, he was the consulting chef at Layla first. That's where I got to meet him. So I worked at Layla for about 6 months, and after the consulting chef George had left, he got another job being the back of the house general manager of Windows on the World. Because after the first bombing, they were going to reopen it. Joe Baum and David Amiot were reopening Windows on the World. And after I was at Layla, George calls me up, and he goes, I have a new job for you. And I said, well, I have a job. He goes, I want you to be the chef of the Cellar in the Sky on top of the World Trade Center. And I said, well, I'm not a chef, I'm a sous chef now. I'm just figuring out how to do this. And I said, no. And then a couple weeks later, he called me back, and he says, Mark, I need to talk to you. I was like, well, I don't want it. And I turned him down again. So the third time he calls me up, he goes, we're meeting downtown, we're going to have coffee or tea, something or other. We get downtown, he takes me in an elevator, we go up to the 106th and 107th floor of the World Trade Center, and he goes, you see this kitchen? This is your kitchen. This is the chef of the Cellar in the Sky's kitchen. And up here, this is the Cellar in the Sky dining room. This is your job. And he hands me a piece of paper with the salary that he wanted to pay me. And it was double what I was making. And I looked at him and I said, I'm too scared. I don't know if I can be a chef. He goes, Mark, I'll be with you the whole way. We can do this together. You can do this. So I went and told Drew I was leaving. He got upset.
And then
He's like, where are you going?
Now you stayed at the Cellar for a little while.
I was at Cellar in the Sky close to 2 years.
Right.
And then Michael Monaco came up, and there was a whole book written about this recently by I think Tom Ronson wrote a book about Windows on the World. I don't know if you've read it yet.
Yeah.
It's a very good book. I should have brought you a copy.
We'll take the cookbook later on, but let's move on.
Windows on the World. I'm up there for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. I end up leaving because Michael Monaco is coming in to take over everything. And then I was divorced, I had crashed my motorcycle, I left my job. I didn't leave in really great terms because I thought I was still the chef, and they sort of didn't want me there and whatnot. It was sort of a weird sort of transitional period. It got a little ugly.
Is that when you go to Rocco?
Then I went to Rocco DiSpirito's restaurant, Union Pacific, with an old friend of mine. She was she worked at New York City Ballet. I knew a lot of people at the ballet because I loved the ballet at the time and knew a lot of friends over there. So she said, well, you're kind of down in the dumps and let me take you out to dinner. So we went to UP, as they called it, Union Pacific. Rocco comes out of the kitchen and he hands me a piece of paper and he goes, listen, I got a guy who wants to open a high-end restaurant on the Upper East Side and I think you're the right chef for the job. Why don't you call him?
Abe Merchant.
Abraham Merchant. So I call Abraham Merchant. I go to see him. He tells me about the project. I'm interested. We strike a deal. I'm now the chef of the restaurant on the Upper East Side called La Fourchette, which I was very worried about because I thought it rhymed with something luff or something else, which could have been terrible if it didn't work out well.
Okay.
Then it took a long time to get the construction going, so I ended up opening up for him another restaurant before that called Café Milou on 7th Avenue South. It was a 24-hour bistro. So I opened that up. It went pretty well. And I was just about to leave. After 9/11, I helped Abraham reopen Southwest because it was in the World Financial District. I was just about to leave New York. I was going to go hang out with a friend of mine in San Diego. I was going to get on my motorcycle and travel south and take a right and go all the way to San Diego. But Abraham calls me back and he hands me some money and he says, I need you to reopen Southwest. And I said, okay, I'll do it, but I'm only staying for 3 months. Within those 3 months, I ended up re-meeting this woman named Pamela. She came down to see me. And, well, we got together, and this was about 17 years ago. We're still together. At the time, we were dating. We ended up taking a trip for 3 months through Europe, saw a lot of my family and friends, came back, and then we decided, let's get married, let's have kids, and let's buy a little building in Tribeca and open Landmark in Tribeca.
Okay.
All at the same time.
So after Landmark in Tribeca, it's 2006 and
somewhere around there, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Landmark
Landmark was going great. I decided at one point I wanted to then open up another sort of New York style fish shack. I wanted to do Ditch Plains, which I opened Ditch Plains in the West Village. I had that, it was there for 12 years. While that was happening, people from the Time Warner Center called me. They wanted a Landmark restaurant in the Time Warner Center.
Right, 300 seats.
So 300 seat restaurant, very, almost over 10,500 square foot restaurant. That went very well. I was there for 12 years as well. I recently closed that one. In the midst of all that, I got a deal with a publisher and I wrote a cookbook. And I wanted to write a cookbook that people could cook out of. You know those cookbooks that are recipes are 6 pages long? I think people usually just put those books away. I've always been about, been in the restaurant business and like caring for people and cooking for people and taking care of people. And I thought I wanted to write a cookbook that, one, anybody could buy, two, they could find the ingredients anywhere. It wouldn't be that complicated. And I wanted to write it, so it's called, Seasoned with Authority for the Confident Home Cook.
So how'd you get on the Food Network?
During all that time, I remember at one point when we had at least 3 or 4 restaurants going, I had an assistant who worked for me. She handed me a DVD and she said, the Food Network wants you to go do this pilot, and they sent me they want you to do the first season, and here's the pilot. And I watched the pilot, and I was like, sure, I'll go do this thing. It's called Chopped.
Chopped, right.
And I had done things on the Food Network here and there, little things, like not much, but I guess they knew me a little bit. And this was probably 12 years ago, 11 years ago. We've been on the air for almost over 10 years now. We've done over 600 shows. And so Chopped started, and it was one of those shows that started and went like this, it was a slow climb, but now it's really doing, it's been doing well for a long time, but yeah.
And besides Chopped, you spend the time on some other Food Network shows.
I do. I work a lot with Guy Fieri, who's a fantastic guy. We do this show called Guy's Ranch Kitchen, where we just go and cook and hang out in his ranch, and they film us, and we have a great time coming up with fun recipes and sharing ideas and techniques with different colleagues. Also, actually next week I'm flying out to California. We're going to shoot. He has another show called Guy's Grocery Games, and I sometimes compete on that, or I judge, and I have a good time hanging out there doing his show as well.
Let's talk about, before we're going to talk about family, the podcast.
The podcast. Food 360 is what it's called. It's on iHeartRadio. It's great working with them, though. They're really very professional. I had never done it before. I was a little nervous. Every time I get a new job, I get a little nervous. But coming up with a show and really putting out, they asked me what I wanted to do, and I wanted to talk about food from every angle. So that's why it's called Food 360. I think everything touches food. I mean, we all have to do it. We have to hopefully do it 3 times a day. And I think everything's influenced by food. So I picked the name of the show, and I've done 8 episodes so far, looking to get season 2 off the ground. And it's been really rewarding. I mean, you do this, you interview people, and I really got to like interviewing people and sort of pulling information
Now
and
let's
talking
talk
to
about
them.
Pamela and the children.
Well, my kids are everything to me. They're,
How do you meet Pamela?
Well, Pamela, I met
Met her twice.
I met her twice. The first time was a long time ago. This is a hard thing to follow, but she was partners with
In a magazine.
in a magazine called Madison. But I knew her partner because when I was a handyman, I built her partner's sister's hat shop off of Lexington Avenue. I know it sounds crazy, but that's where it was.
Okay, so that's you and Pamela.
And then we met again after 9/11, and we got together. And after, I think pretty much we got married, we had she was pregnant, and we opened a restaurant pretty much all in the same moment.
2 children. Tell me about them.
2 children, and then a couple years later, we went. Our daughter we had biologically, and then we decided to adopt, and we adopted our young boy.
And
he's
daughter's
13
name
now.
is?
My daughter's name is Campbell. My son's name is Callan.
So, look, I'm happy that you gave up being a handyman because we got a great chef who's given back in the community, who recently made a trip to Israel, and I know that you've been helpful on many of the good causes, and
Yeah.
thanks for being here today.
Well, thank you.